Hello, good evening, and welcome back to DOI Online. It is Saturday, 6th of June 2020. The time now is 10 minutes to 8 p.m. GMT. It is a sunny evening, but a rainy one here in Great Britain. In the meantime, as I try to get hold of my guest, I'll let it roll with this liberation song. Forolity, Ndolmu Forolity, meaning we are free bonds. No one can buy us. No one can frighten us. In a sense, we are not fearful of anyone. These are the liberation songs from the voices of consciousness in Woolly. Hello, good evening. Uncle Alhaji Musa Jeng.
Brother man, Dinala.
Jirejef. My fine, alhamdulillah. Elizabeth,
How are
good evening.
Good
I
evening.
am fine.
Good evening, Bro Suleiman. Hello, Mr. Jeng.
Hey, Elizabeth, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, sir.
It's good to hear from you. Good to see you too.
Yeah, good to see you too. I follow your program.
Oh, you do?
I do, sure, yeah.
Thank you very much. We definitely, yeah, definitely.
Well, actually, it's a great program anyway. The only old one there is that Nyancho from Kabu.
Banka.
I don't want to mention his name.
Kesla. You know how he is. Definitely.
Right.
You know how he is. Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we are delighted to have you here, Uncle Musa Jeng. I have no doubt that you have a lot of experience to share with our viewers tonight.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I have no doubt about that. Yes. So, like I said, I am trying to run two teams at parallel here, which are interlinked. Basically, you'll be looking at the trends and the contradictions of our politics, as indicated on the post earlier on. And our sisters here are here to join us, Elizabeth and Anita, who will be looking at women representation in Gambian politics from a DOIS perspective. It's quite timely in the sense that we now have an independent lady who've just declared her candidature to run for the presidency. yes, we'll be looking at these issues tonight.
Definitely,
so,
definitely.
On a formal note, it is 4 minutes past 8 o'clock here in Britain. Sunny evening, but rainy one. It is 5 minutes past 7 local Gambian time. So we will make a start. Formally, Musa, you are undoubtedly one of the most influential diaspora Gambians in our politics. No doubt about that. You and your colleagues have immensely contributed to our politics. In fact, I believe there was a time you were one of the most trusted allies of the then opposition on the Gambia. I don't know for now, but there were all indications that from fundraising to advocacy, networking with them, bringing them together, you were doing a lot. But Uncle Musa, when it comes to our politics, there is a lot more to be desired. It remains to be a paradox. From the First Republic to the Second, and now to Underbarrow, there are a lot more of people now, today, who have built interest in politics. And that is because gradually we are having some sort of quantitative changes, although at a very slow trend. But they want to hear from people like you to shape the discourse, to gain some experience, some knowledge from you. In your view, how would you describe Gambian politics? Be it political or from the political institutions, the leaders. In short, the trends and contradictions. I know the question is quite vague, but you have the discretion to treat it how you want.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Suleiman. And of course, I appreciate the compliment. I'm not sure that I'm as influential as you think. I wish I was, but that may not be the reality. I have an opinion, and a whole lot of people from the diaspora do have an opinion. And that's what every citizen can do. You have an opinion and you try to make a difference. So I'm definitely humble, and thank you for inviting me. I mean, I want to start by, should I say, saluting you. It's about time that there is a DOI platform, because at the end of the day, it's about having your message out there. DOI is known to be a party that has a message and a party that really believes in bringing about awareness. Now, if one supports a party like DOI as a citizen, especially here in the diaspora, for a while I kept asking Pastor, how come you guys do not really have a platform to talk to the electorate, to talk to Gambians in the diaspora? And this is where I would give a lot of, I would say, thumbs up to the UDP. I mean, their supporters are very enthusiastic. They say Husseinis of this world. I mean, that's how you play politics. It's about having a message, and it's about going to the electorate and bringing them in. At least it's better late than never, and you guys are doing just that. And I want to congratulate you for doing that. The question you said about trends and contradictions and Gambian politics, I think when you say, if we look at really, I mean, Gambian politics, for instance, Suleiman, you said party politics in the Gambia, it has always been driven by certain things. And what are those things? Gambian politics has always been, whether you're talking about the First Republic, the Second Republic, or the present situation that we are in, that's always been driven by what? Patronage. Driven by what? Cronyism. Driven by what? Identity politics. That has always been in the heart of our politics. And then one important one also, the power of incumbency. If we go back to the First Republic, we went through what, 4 or 5 election cycles, all the way from independence. There was a reason why we kept electing the same person, even though there was a semblance of democracy, and people believe that at the end of the day, each citizen has a vote. But one could even argue that The results were already inevitable. Jawara was there. Jawara got the votes because of these reasons. There was patronage, the governors, the alcalos, the power of incumbency. The average Gambian voter believed that nguur ken du ko xeex. So at the end of the day, elections after elections, they went back for Jawara. And then there's identity politics. And I'm talking going all the way back in the in the First Republic. People were voting for politicians that they can identify. You know, sometimes people feel very, very uncomfortable when you say that, but it's the reality of our politics. I was brought in a home in Kaur. All right. Family, they were Wolofs. My father and my mother, they all voted UP. And the only reason they did, I believe, they could identify with the person. They believe if I vote for PS Njai, he understands me. Suñ nit la. Suñ ñoo bokk benn xeet. This person is going to respond to what I believe to be my interests. Same thing. Mandinkas were very much leaning to vote for Jawara because it's one of them. Even if you look at the way the party started at that time, it was like, look, we live in the protectorate. You guys basically marginalize us. We're not even seen as, we're seen as second-class citizens. Now we bring in our own son to identify with. So the voting patterns were driven by that. And then you have the power of the incumbency, then you have patronage. These are trends from the First Republic, then we get into the Second Republic. Jammeh came, and the whole idea was our politics was supposed to be changed. There would be an awareness. There would be the leveling of the playing field. That did not happen. The same voting patterns continue. There was the power of incumbency. There was also identity politics. And then you still have patronage. And in addition to that, you have the politics of fear. Elections after elections, Jammeh was winning elections. As for the voter, and this is where I'm going to come up with the contradictions. When people thought that they were voting for their interests, they were actually voting against their interests. You live in the provinces, in the First Republic. You don't have access to clean drinking water. You don't have electricity. You don't have correct housing. None of that. Elections after elections, the same politician coming to you, telling you these things, you kept voting for that person because of these things that I highlighted. You identify with them, then you have access. Those were the days. Jammeh came, we were hoping that he would change it. He did not. Then all of us, our generation, we thought we need to fight to bring an end to that. It coincides, most of us were living in the diaspora. So we continued to fight. It took almost 20 years. The whole idea was, and we all thought, you heard about the thing about NAT. I don't want to get into the politics of NAT, who did what, who didn't do what. But the big picture was, we thought if we come together, we may be able to remove Jammeh. Now, there were naysayers, and rightly so. People thought that Gambians generally believe that you will never be able to remove a leader or a president through the ballot box. You remember Halifa said that a lot. Not a whole lot of Gambians believe that. It was impossible to remove. Why do I waste my time? Gambians living in the diaspora, and I'm going to get to that. It was very lonely in the wilderness. A lot of Gambians in the diaspora did not believe in it. They thought it was a waste of time. In fact, it's a fait accompli. You guys are doing it. You're not going to be successful. You're wasting your time. My parents would call me and said, that's what they were saying. It was a very lonely fight. But we kept on, and we believed we were able to bring the coalition together. Ultimately, it took the Gambian people to vote Jammeh out of office. But then, as a spiritual person, I think that the hands of God also has something to do with it. Yalla dimbale len ci tuti and Jammeh was gone. And we thought, wow, here we have an opportunity for a new Gambia. If you look at the coalition, the whole idea was, in that memorandum of understanding, we are going to create safeguards so that ultimately when we have elections, it will be a level playing field. Whether you live in Basse, whether you live in Georgetown, they understood that we don't want the power of incumbency to really overwhelm or dictate the process. We understand that identity politics is still going to play in, but when you remove the power of incumbency, and then all the political parties will go and send their message to the Gambian people, then we have a new constitution, then we will remove all the advantages that any party would have, then at least we will be able to have free and fair elections, and at the end of the day, we will have a new Gambia. Unfortunately, currently, we still have the same issues and the same dynamics that we had during the Fourth and the Second Republic. Now, let me be honest. There are a lot of achievements. Jammeh is gone. That alone is huge. And then definitely there is a new Gambia in the sense that here we're having a new constitution, hopefully, provided that it's going to pass through the National Assembly and be voted in as the law of the land. We all know that there is at least an independent judiciary, a very important institution in any democracy. We have that. And that is huge accomplishment. Just was it 2 days ago, the Court of Appeals and their ruling, I think that even reinforced that our democracy is evolving as far as the rule of law is concerned. But unfortunately, we were betrayed by, in this particular case, I will say Barrow, the current leader. Barrow was a transitional leader. He did not hold on to his side of the bargain. No doubt about that. We all knew the jockeying that was happening with the political parties, each party trying to make sure that I'm going to exploit this situation to give myself an advantage so that when we go to 2021, I will be the party to be elected. Barrow changed the dynamics. The key now is what is going to happen in 2021. And I'm going to slide in now the contradictions. The contradictions, Moy, us, the voters. You see, Suleiman, it is sad that every Gambian would tell you, we want a new Gambia. I want a new Gambia. A new Gambia, I want, I'm sure you've heard me on our show saying a lot. We need a transformational leader that will bring about a transformed new Gambia. That's what most Gambians want. But unfortunately, if we are going to vote the same way our forefathers voted, like if I'm going to vote based on the way my father was voting, based on identity politics, based on patronage, based on the power of incumbency, and then I still want a transformed Gambia, I'm up to be I'm up to some disappointment, because that's the contradiction. It is not possible. You cannot want a new Gambia, and at the same time, as the voter, you don't want to transform. You still want to allow yourself to be dictated by the same voting patterns. 2021, we are like 15, 16 months away from it. But if you look at the way things are beginning to set up, and I'm very concerned, you talk to any pundits, anybody who basically follow Gambian politics, they will tell you it's going to come down to these two parties. I would even want to say the same party, UDP and NPP. They were one. They had their division. We have a new party called NPP. You have UDP. People are now beginning to make calculations based on, because our politics is about zero-sum game. Now, has the dynamics changed? I don't know that. I do believe there might be some surprises. Has the Gambian voter actually changed? Because you know why? We did something in 2016 that has never happened before, meaning Gambians now believe they can walk into a polling booth and vote for somebody and vote actually an incumbent out of office. Gambians do believe that. So now, how that is going to impact 2021 elections, I am not sure. Really, I mean, your guess is good as mine. There is a youthful electorate out there. People that are under 40, 35, the millennials. Are they going to engage? How are they going to vote? Are they still going to vote like their fathers used to vote? Meaning based on identity politics, based on patronage? I am not so sure. Even though they're telling you they want a new Gambia. Now, I am going to tell everybody and every citizen, if you want a transformational Gambia, how do you do that? But let me stop here for now and allow our other panelists, and I will get to that. Like, how do we vote for a transformed new Gambia if we are serious?
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you, Musa. There's a brilliant analysis. Anita, Tita Coldwater on Facebook. You're welcome to the platform. Yes. But here, before I allow this other panelist or guest to say anything, Musa, this is our narrative, because this is our hyper-partisan platform. And our narrative is that it's not going to be between the NPP and the UDP come 2021. It's going to be DOI with a new wave of progressives who are slowly coming out, joining on a daily basis, recognizing the fact that those transformation plans you are signposting to.
There's another.
Yes,
I don't know whether you guys are hearing
listening
it.
to another device. Is that Anita or Elizabeth?
Oh, sorry, that's probably me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. All right, got it.
Okay. Yeah. So for us, this is our narrative, and our narrative is that progressive Gambians would rally behind DOI come 2021. It is going to be a major force that will bring it the transformation the country needs. But Anita, you're welcome to the platform. Elizabeth, do you have anything to say in light of Musa Jeng's analysis?
Well, first I want to say, Anita, hi, how are you? Glad to have you here as a second female voice on the platform. Musa is spot on. Musa is spot on. He's very right. He's just analyzed for us what we have, in the Gambia when it comes to politics. And it's so unfortunate. It's sad. But Musa, to be fair, you must give credit to DOI in the sense that DOI has always engaged in the politics of enlightenment. Unlike other parties, DOI has spent a good amount of its time and resources in general in educating the masses and not just merely wanting to get the numbers. And this is where we want to call all the other political parties to come to. The bar must be set high for them, just as we have for DOI. DOI has been educating and enlightening people. What have the other political parties been doing? I'm not just saying this because I'm a DOI member, but that's the fact. I know you are independent and you can honestly say that this is the fact. And so all political parties must be called. They have an obligation to enlighten the people, not just to get people rallying behind them politics of Benachin and Ebe and, Sabah, but political parties must be called to the task. They have an obligation to educate their members. And that is where you can always see the difference between a supporter or a DOI member and, other political party members. The level of awareness and exposure when it comes to politics and what it should be about is just so different. I'm not trying to, belittle anybody here, but that's just the fact that we have to be able to boldly enough say that way we can call the other parties, to that high standard that we want to see in our politics. Now, I have seen Paradise TV put up that they are inviting all these political leaders to a debate of some sort. I cannot wait for it to happen. And I am hoping that this is the beginning of what we really need to see. We need to see our political party leaders come to the table and tell us what they have to offer. We are tired of having them go to rallies or call their party members to a rally and just drum and garuwale their way to office. We are tired of that. And so come this day on Paradise TV, I cannot wait to see lawyer Usainu Dabo. I cannot wait to see GDC's Mama Kande. I cannot wait to see all these political parties leaders lined up and face us as Gambians and tell us what it is they have to offer. We need substance. We are tired of this kind of politics, and we should feel abused by these politicians that come and just have nothing to offer us, use the lack of exposure of our masses and get themselves into office like we have now, and then offer us nothing. I mean, that we should have enough of that. And I can't wait for the Paradise TV program that is coming up.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That's very clear. Before Anita comes in, here, this is in relation to Musa Jeng made mention of something very interesting. For him, it's like he put the responsibility of voting based on informed choices in the hands of the electorate. And I believe you'll come back to that in terms of how these politicians are manipulating these vulnerable voters. The vast majority are considered illiterate. They have a responsibility in this case. Basically, not to exploit these voters based on the factors you have identified, whether it is incumbency, patronage, or identity politics. But Anita, do you have any intervention here?
Man nag dina laka wolof. How are you all doing?
Well,
doing well. Anita,
fine, thank you. Hamga, so I mean nit ko hamne you are involved with the day-to-day lives of these people that we are talking about. You see things from a different perspective. Sorry. So fekkee ne yaa ngi liggéey ak nit ñi on the ground on a day-to-day basis. No dey gisee situation bi daf dey different. Doo dee dem ak Facebook euphoria ak Facebook clappings ak online clappings parce que man nga xam ne I am dealing with these people that you're talking about nga xam ne suñ eewoo si suba the first thing lu ñoo le xalaat mooy fan lay ndeewoo yee fan lay añee fan lay reeree. Those are the people I'm dealing with. So suma code is because ñu ngee def loolu ñun dañ dee gis dañ ko dee gis ne these people bala ñoo xalaat anything moo tax moo leen politician bu ñëw rek jox leen saaku maalo ñu dem ak moom te loolu la gaay di jël di exploit di take advantage of.
Right, the sound is coming from, I believe, Elizabeth again.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Right.
So ñun ñu ngi deal with a charitable organization bu ñoo dealal, and then you see xale yoo xam ne duñ dem school ñu ngi toog kër because of school fees parce que seen yaay ak seen papa yi bala ñoo xalaat school fees dañ lekkangum. So this is the Gambia buñ am, this is the reality. Te man dama dee toog ne how many years ben tey even the basics sax suñ nit ñi mënuñ koo am. This is what lii la ñoo deala moo tax suñ toogee si Facebook di trivialize the issue making it about a personality, di ko def comme kila wara sani, ki mo fa wara talk. To me, that is all nonsense. The basic pare Gambian luñ buga def moy den buga leapfrog suñ development. We cannot leapfrog our development. Yow naka nga buga di build skyscrapers. It is a basic ndox. It's a basic dem school. It's a basic dem lopitan ñu faj la. It's not there, and you want these people to be surrounded with skyscrapers. Do them. So motorhead, since I buma started the league in this charity thing, I don't meddle myself in petty politics. Bàyyi naa ko dama ko daan def waaye defatuma ko parce que dama dee gis message yi yaay yi ñoo si gën a soona message yi yaay yi dama ko dee gis te ñii yaay yi la politician yi dee use. But how? The problem is the di nga wax ak ñoom enlighten leen ne leen ne you know yéen a ngi toog in that country for so long, politician bu ñëw nax leen ba parce que fii koo fi sànnil mu won la ne man maa la gën a barke balaa nga ne 1-2 minutes doomam yaa ngi private school su moo drive sa motoom bi doo ko jege doo ko gisati. Politician Gambia mooy sànnil ma won la ne man maa la tane. I'm more blessed than you. I'm more blessed than you. Ma romba la fa in the ghetto or in the slum. Dem dëkk fu sori sorry. Yow nga still remain in that position. Li nga añ doo ko am, loo ko reel doo ko am, ndox amut, light amut. You know, your children are not in good condition. Gambians are not eating well. Lii yëpp lañ war a wax. And we need politicians at this time. We need people that are just selfless. They need politicians with character that are selfless. They really want to champion the Gambian vision. The problem is ñu ngi champion their own visions, and it's not the Gambian vision they are championing. Ku fa talk personal vision am la more champion. Who is champion the Gambian vision? That is what we are lacking. And until buñ amé lolu, seen la ñoo xamné we are really ready. To bala nga def lolu, dafa fekk ne your politician bu doylu nga. You know you're there for the people. You want to make a change. Parce que change bi ñoo wax is not an easy thing, to be honest. Even though we are developing a change model, ñun ci suñ foundation, we have a change model, but a change model to implement it is not easy. So you really need somebody with knowledge. Fii daal Gambia dara mënut ko yóbbu kanam lu dul knowledge mu ko yóbbu. Dama demoon benn academic conference, benn professor ne we are now building a knowledge economy. Knowledge economy, that's what we are building. So what does that mean? Ne molem lo buga def knowledge moko lifin bala ma de ñu naan janga it has its place. You know, when you're talking with so much passion, people will be thinking, oh, this girl is angry or something. I'm not angry. But when I look back, children are not going to school just because of 50 pounds to you. Well, $100 to you. They are not going to school. You know, when are we going to change this thing? When are we going to sona? But at the same time, we need to come down to people's level. Then you want to watch a certain level and explain it to them in their own context, in their own situation and context when you understand. So I'll leave somebody else to talk now. Thank you.
Thank you,
Those
Anita.
are good points, both of you.
Yes.
Good points, definitely.
Yes, Musa, the button is back to you. Yes.
I listened to both of them, and I'm going to dwell on some of the things that Anita raised. And you also talked about that pundits are all thinking that this is going to come down to the UDP and NPP, and you disagree. Again, I am not saying that the pundits are right. But I want to go back and revisit the voting patterns that I talked about. You see, DOI came about in 1986, 87. Yeah, something like that, around that.
I think that will lead us to the next question, really, because I want you to locate DOI's position in all this.
Yes,
yes.
And I'm going to do that. I am going to do that, and I'm also going to, my opinion in terms of us as a voter, because to me, it really comes down to we have to take responsibility. If you say you want a change Gambia, you want a transform Gambia, if that is not happening, bul blame Ken. You look yourself in the mirror, it's you. I told you about these voting patterns. We all believe that these are the voting patterns that is not helping the evolution of our democracy, making Gambia a better country, bringing access, clean drinking water in the protectorate or even in the greater Banjul area. Now, don't lose for a minute, Nay. Doi did not understand, because these are smart people. They know what it was going to take. They know about these voting patterns. They know about identity politics. They know about patronage. They know about the power of incumbency. The question then becomes, how come they are not exploiting it like other politicians are doing? There is a reason. You see, I'm an independent person. I've been accused, I have sympathies for Doi. That's okay. I speak my mind the way I see it. If I'm going to say something that sounds like I am helping Doi or Bugodega, independent like boy Doila, that's fine. But nobody is going to dispute that Doi, like any other party, understands very much so that these are the voting patterns, and Doi could have done the same thing. Sida Jata is from Wuli, right? On Kerfatu, a question was asked to Khalifa. Gambians would say, now, go and look at all the criticism that are leveled against the party by anybody, including myself. Oh, you guys have been here for 30 years. You guys couldn't even, Amsalu pass 3%. Oh, yen even Ahmad Basanyo in 2001 and Ahmad Ba got 9%. Yen 2-3% then yen there. That is the query and that is the criticism. But then why couldn't people turn it around and ask, how come the Gambian people, because ultimately they are the voter. We all know why Ahmad Ba got 8%. And you think that Doi doesn't know that? Khalifa's response was, look, I'm from Banjul. I'm from Lancaster. I could have walked into P.S. Njai's shoes, new P.S. Njai, and then I will have a substantial vote of the Olofs, identify with them. And in every Olof village there is, they could play the patronage like everybody else. But how come they did not do it? Because Lolu tahulena joke. So fekene, you form a political party for a different reason. And you want to stay at it for 30-40 years. And then you realize that the only way I'm going to win is to really identify with the voter, Nahlen, Johlen Sakomalo here and there, and then then Doi will be able to get 10, 11, 12, 13%. But do you seriously believe that Samsar and Syria Jata and Halifa Sallah, Lulu Molen Tahajuk? Really? How were they able to be getting 2-3% and they still keep at it for 30 years without losing faith? It's because they are driven by a core belief. And they don't think, ultimately, it's only going to take winning to satisfy those beliefs. They think that there is a lot more to it. If you want to change the democratic process, if you want to take Gambia finin, then there has to be an investment to be made. According to Doi, they have to create awareness. And unless and until that awareness comes in, that a sovereign Gambian, Munika Kaur, realize, unless and until I vote for my interests, irrespective of who the person is, it is very convenient for me to sit in Kaur ne wow ki day wax deug yalla ha diet bayam day suma mbok la won de jar nak mom fu sori de wax deug yalla indi na fi guruta dina ko hotel. That is convenient and easy, but it's in the interest of the voter to think like that. So you also you form a political party to change and create that awareness so that people will begin to vote ultimately their interest. Whether you win or you win, I honest to God believe that Gambia would be at a better place. And 2016 was supposed to give us an opportunity to do just that. If we have a neutral umpire, there will be civic education. Gambians now they know what the constitution is. Everybody understands now, look, I am going to vote for what it ultimately is in my interest, whether it's DOI or is in UDP or is in NPP, whoever the person is. Ultimately, Gambia will benefit. So to say, ask question, criticism, DOI, or 3%, 4%, to me, that's not a criticism. What you're basically saying, politics mature good. And I'm not saying, even swing politics mature, they're still going to vote for DOI. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is the party is driven more by, because they could have done that. Now, what does it take to transform Gambia? And this is where Anita said something very critical. Come 2021, if you live in the diaspora, you go to Gambia every semester, you complain about the lights, you complain about Yoni Bahun, you complain about this, you complain about that. If you happen to live in Sotokonding, Sidi Ajata was in the National Assembly telling you in 2020, still access to clean drinking water, and he pointed to the chair, so it means they're still drinking dirty water. Now, if you're going to change that and you transform a new Gambia, what does it going to take? You're going to have a visionary leader, you're going to have a visionary party. And I'm not saying it's DOI. But what are those? If you are going to vote for someone, you have to vote for someone who has character. What does character means? If you're going to vote for a leader, that person has to have integrity, consistency, and honesty. So I don't care what the policies are. Do them fee by fee. You have to have someone with good character. That is a consideration and it's required if you want a transformed Gambia. What is the other point? Let me look in my notes. You have to have, and Anita said it, you have to have capacity and knowledge. Bro, if we're going to turn around, and when I say capacity and knowledge, it doesn't mean someone with a PhD all over the place. Let us be honest. If you're going to go to the hospital, you're going to have somebody put a pacemaker in your heart. You better be damn sure that that person knows what he's doing. If we're going to elect a visionary leader at this particular juncture of our development, we need someone who has capacity. He's going to surround himself because Ken Mutut. No one has a monopoly on knowledge. But you have to have the basic capacity to understand if our country is to survive, if we are ever going to create a transformed Gambia. I talked about character. My friend, I'm sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia. If I were to build a house in the Gambia and I want to take $50,000, and you look at all the party leaders that are running and all the political parties that are there, and I want to send them $50,000 to hold it for me until next year, you, the voters, should ask yourself, who do I trust that at the end of the year, some of them and some $50,000 will be there? If you answer that question, then you are looking into the possibility of creating, this transformed new Gambia that we are talking about. But I am telling you, if we are going to settle for mediocrity, if we are going to settle for the same old, the way our forefathers used to vote, same old identity politics, same old patronage, same old Sabargubari. What has Sabargubari got to do with winning an election? And I see people say it all the time. They say, oh, do I am Hana beating in Tibole Sabar? Really? That's what it's really going to take for a person to vote for a party? For me to take my life? I mean, the future of my kids and my grandkids. I am going to select a person based on that. Suleiman, if we want to change Gambia, we want to have someone with character. Go hamne duñu feñal muk, consistent. Lim la wax fi ba elek. That's exactly what they are going to do. They don't have a monopoly on knowledge. Vote for somebody. Ko hamne. He has demonstrated again and again that he has the capacity, because it's about making decisions for a country of 2 million. You cannot leave it to mediocrity. You cannot leave it to people ñi nga xamne xamuñ sax liñ gëm. Our politics should get to a point where man Mark Suleiman, we can disagree on, at least we can disagree on approach or how we're going to pursue it. That's okay. That's fine.
Well, that's quite common, because if you look at some of the kind of a petty debates, but sometimes they sound a bit more higher up there between me and my friend Pata. It's about this liberal approach and the socialist approach, I believe in.
Exactly. It is okay.
Because I personally believe it has been the same paradigm from the PPP, Jammeh to Barrow. It is the liberal paradigm. It hasn't served us. It is not serving us, considering all the context of our economy, all its characteristics, the people. Personally, I believe our cooperative model, that is what is well designed to transform that country. But yes, you can go ahead with that.
But you know what? At least if our debate got to that point, like you said, there has to be a total paradigm shift into by basically saying that, okay, for 30 years, we have tried this so-called private-led economy, which most of the time is just a rhetoric that they throw around. It doesn't really mean anything. So if they want to mean something, because here in the United States, when I do believe, it's a private-led economy. I mean, in the absence of the private sector, I mean, you're talking about unemployment of almost 70%, maybe even more than that. But then there is also an argument to be made that at this juncture, development in the absence of government intervention, is it really possible to build an economy? In the absence of government intervention, people are saying, well, let's allow the private sector. We can sit here till doomsday. By the time private sector get there, we will all be dead. But at least that's an argument that people can make. If there is one thing that sometimes I'm sympathetic to doing, is that there is a role. And the reason why I'm saying this, where we are in terms of, we are an underdeveloped country. We've been in existence for 50 years. We haven't done much. There is a lack of awareness in terms of even our politics. It's an evolving democracy. So at this particular juncture, we have to build a very solid foundation. You cannot do that without having total government intervention. America, where it is right now, just look at it, even in their healthcare. The debate now is this is something that government should actually take over. People are saying, that's not the way to go. But at least these are things, disagreements that parties can have. So to buttress the point that you are making, should Gambia be able to get at least try it. If it doesn't work, try something else.
But again, Musa, the evidence is there. And the evidence is that the private sector produces less than 1.4 billion for corporate taxes. Now, the argument is, this is not enough to fund even our health sector.
Agreed.
Much more other sectors. Clearly, it's not sustainable. There has to be a reasonable and a sustainable state intervention approach.
Again, all I'm saying is, which methodology, which method, which ideas is going to work or not work, if our politics get to that, man, I believe our country is going to benefit. But now, each political party or each voter, problem, we are our problem. Problem. It's not the political parties, all right? It's us. We want change, but we want now. All right? You happen to live in a small village. You believe that you are better off supporting the government. And at the end of the day, you've been voting for them for the last 5 election cycles. They have not really brought the change that you want. You don't have clean drinking water, but you kept voting for them. And then let me come to our so-called intellectuals. Hanga, you said something that because of our people are illiterate. We are the worst. The people that supposedly they are intellectuals, they are the worst. You know why? They don't believe in a damn thing. You see them. 2021 is approaching. What do you think their calculation is? Everybody is looking at, because you see, our process is a zero-sum game. When you win, when you win, others lose. You control the economy. You control access. So the intellectuals are making calculations. Oh, is it going to be Barrow? Incumbent Lade. I think the NPP is going to pull it off. Let me find a way of joining them. Even the very idiots that were with Jammeh for 20 years, enabling him, killing our people, they are in the inside. Whilst the people that were out there fighting Jammeh, sacrificing, they are in the outside. How you figure that? And people think some of us are really idiots. We're not smart. You think I cannot make a calculation? Really, I cannot. I cannot calculate. You know what? I really want to get with Barrow. I really want to be NPP. Maybe be his advisor, something like that. Maybe, you said I have influence. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not. But at least the perception is there. He would want me to support him and say good things about him and support his policies. Wouldn't I have access and to be in the inside? And it doesn't mean that I'm special. I am saying the intellectuals are making those calculations and they don't care what is in the interest of the Gambian people. They don't care whether the person can deliver the goods. They do not care. They will tell you we want a transformed Gambia. They will criticize, but then they act differently. They'll tell you, oh, I respect Doi. When Doi speaks, everybody listens. But they will tell you that they are not going to win. So I'm not going to, that's not the area that I'm going to go. Why do you think they're making that calculations? And you call my people in the provinces that they are illiterate and somehow the intellectuals, they are the ones that are supposed to help our country? My brother, we are all the same. I would been difference unless and until we change our mindset, we bring about the awareness. Come 2021, it's not going to be different than what we went through since independence. I'm been different. The same kind of criticisms will be leveled. And I will get to the diaspora later on, but let me allow my...
Yeah, thank you. I'll let Elizabeth to intervene here. Elizabeth, he made mention of something very important. There is this perception there, Doi cannot win. This has to be treated. We need to deal with this narrative. Because this narrative has to change.
Yeah.
What are your views?
Doi can win if we can. I tell people if we were able to unseat Jammeh, we can put in a government like Doi. Nobody thought in a million years that we were able to take Jammeh out of power. But we came together, we understood what was at stake, we knew what we needed to do, and we pulled it off. The same thing can be done. We cannot just sit in our comfortable places and expect to be spoon-fed. We want change, we want a good government, but we are not willing to get in the mud to do the work to make that happen. Now, he talked about, politics of patronage that Doi is never ever going to be part of. No matter what comes, if it means that Doi is never going to rule, that is what it's going to be. But Doi is not going to go to the mud. It's not going to go to that level of ethnocentric politics or politics of patronage. Doi is not going to go to that level. It takes us as Gambians to understand what we need is in what Doi has to offer. appreciate that. And for those of us who have come to that awareness, to be willing to take off our shoes, to be willing to tie our lappers so tight and get in the mud and fight to ensure, like we did with Jame, that we have a government that will serve the people. Now, he talked about the politics of that we have seen over and over again, whether it's going to work or it's not going to, privatization of our, productive base. This is what we have known from forever. That is the policy that has been with Jawara. It's been with Jame, and it's the same policies that we are seeing. Everything that we have is privatized. Now we're talking about golden lead here. We're talking about how they're adversely affecting us. And I was just listening to Mr. Gomez's interview. I don't know whether to call it an interview or was it just a monologue where he had to say what he wanted to say about the fishery, the factory with Golden Lead. Now he argued that, oh yes, that Golden Lead is doing a good job, that they've employed, most of our people. In fact, they have spoken to the people in Gunjur, and the people of Gunjur said that these people are doing a good job because they have hired some of their workers. Yes. You go to the people who do not really understand the implications of what this golden lead has versus, and they have not been able to see what you have to offer as a government, as an alternative. They will go with that because at least maybe 10, 15 people in the community are employed. But does that mean that that is the best that we have to offer our people? No. We did not need to privatize that fish meal factory. Our women, and that takes me to I don't know, maybe we should wait for that to come. But our women, down in the river, have no fish to sell to take money to their families. And he argued that that's not a fact, but that's what we have seen. People have interviewed women where they come and say, we used to have a lot of fish to sell, but now we don't have any. We are just barely making it. Why? Because the competition with Golden Lead. Why should you allow our natives to be competing with a factory like Golden Lead? Why don't we empower with a government, with a DOI government? The policies of DOI are that we want to empower our nurses, where instead of hiring people from China to come and, make the best use, or not even the best use, profit from our resources, we are going to invest in the locals, give these people boats, organize them, cooperatives, give them loans, give them everything it takes to succeed, and allow that to be the source of tax for the people. Allow that to be the means of employment for the people. But you cannot tell me that the fish meal factory is the best alternative that we have there. It's not. And with DOI, it's a different approach altogether. And so, Musa, to say that, when our people get much more aware, then probably this political system that we have seen with the privatization of the economic base is probably going to work. I argue that it has not, and I don't think it will ever. Now, talking about, America as a system, America could have done better, to be honest with you. And I think the COVID-19 crisis exposed that in a way that all of us are here to attest that, look, correct, it's not all that glitters that is gold. The healthcare system that is so privatized, we have seen how many people have died. If this was in the hands of government, we probably would be talking about something else. Now, compare that to Cuba. Cuba is a socialist country. Why is Cuba able to not only control the rate of infection in their country and the number of people dying, but they are also able to export their medical expertise outside? Because the government did not privatize the healthcare system, because the government invested in the education of the people of Cuba. You have poor farmers' children who are doctors. People of all classes of in that society are able to make it because the government invested in the education of their masses. And today, even though there are all these sanctions against Cuba, they will tell you that their medical expertise are a source of foreign exchange to that country. Because these people that the government have invested in educating are not only in the Gambia, they are not only in Italy, they are not only in Brazil, they are all over the place bringing foreign exchange to the country. So it takes us back to, why do we need to privatize our economic base? The government has to be able to invest in the people so that we can get that back. But we cannot expect to privatize everything. It has not worked. It will never work. It wouldn't. And that is why people need to question. That is why I cannot wait for these people to come and sell their policies to us so that we can scrutinize, criticize, and ask questions. Because, I mean, with Joy, they have told us clearly that the privatization of our productive base is not the way they will go. Can we give them an opportunity after trying all these other means all this while? Can we give Doi the opportunity to prove that they have what it takes to build our economy? Because look, America is not gold, you know. They do not have it all figured out. There are things that we can see in socialist countries, in the Scandinavian countries that are socialist democratic countries that we admire and emulate, that even America should try to copy from. So the answer is Doi, and so many of us know it. But like Musa was saying, our personal interest is way over and above the interest that we have to see that our country becomes what we should desire it to be. People are only thinking of the here and now, or they do not see a way forward with Doi. They are not willing to come forward and fight to ensure that this party that we know is able to take this country forward takes that mantle of leadership. They are not willing to get in the mud to do that. They are willing to sit back and wait to see which party they think will get there, has the highest chance of getting there, and just jump on the bandwagon and continue, have Gambians continue in the mystery, in poverty, in languish, in all this abject poverty that my sister was talking about. It takes commitment on our part. We need to be patriots for once as Gambians and understand what is at stake. It's not a matter of left and right when it comes to politics. It's a matter of life and death for people. So if only we can understand what is at stake, like we did with Jame, we understood what was at stake. People were being killed literally on the streets. We understand that people are dying because of poverty. We understand that we are in the misery that we are in because of poor leadership. Then let's put our selfish interests aside and come together and fight for a party like Doi that we understand has the policies, has what it takes to take this country to the next level.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Brilliant.
Very impressive.
Anita, any quick intervention there? Because Musa, I have two challenges for you, basically from my friend Pata. Yes, he's unable to call because he's on the sanctions, Mark Zuba's sanction team for misbehavior.
I'm sorry, Nama Yundu. I know that he would.
Yes, Anita, quickly.
Benn mistake bu ñoo def mooy pour ñu demaat in this election ne anything but. Loolu dañ waxoon anything but Jammeh. Loolu lañ waxoon. This election tamit waruñoo demaati ne anything but. Suñ anything but dafa war a nekk anything but development. Anything but what is going to uplift us. Anything but lu ñoo génne si luñ nekk. Waaye waruñoo def anything but ku fa nekk. No. Suñ defatee loolu rek dañoo amati problème. Dañoo demaati through this perpetual cycle of living in poverty, in darkness. So loolu lañ war a change. Waaye si lu ma bëgg a duga mooy me I'm a pragmatist. Waaye dañ dee wax ne Doi is a theoretical party. Ñoom si theory bi rek lañ dee wax. Waaye bu ma xoolee the policy of the Doi, the constitution of Doi, everything there can be applied. We can take it and apply it. If you look at it from a pragmatist point of view. Buñ dugoon si coalition bi bañ win ba defeen. Lan la Doi wax? All the institution, the first thing they should do was to conduct an audit. Who conducted an audit? Which department conducted an audit? Gisuñ ben report audit. So how do you move ahead with a department bo wax ne for over 22 years has been in mismanagement? Your conduct law audit, be pare nga ne da nga change system. How are you going to change it? so loolu lañ wara dafa am processes in place yoo xam ne loolu lañ war a teg te ñun dañ bëgg a jump all those processes. When you do all those things, you just continue with the system that was there in the first place. When you conduct an audit and all the other processes that you do, it reveals, you know, from there you can be able to set up a short term, a mid term, and a long term goal. You be able to see all the loopholes. And from getting a mistake from those processes that we didn't put in place, moine, each of those departments, each of those institutions in Codefon, you compile the report. We have been able to pick out the strategy that would be combined to meet the vision of one Gambia Bundugon. But we didn't do that. So all these things, the flower nene, doi, and the thing is, we are dealing with a party that has been there embedded in the lives of the people. These people have analyzed the situation of Gambia inside out. They've worked with the people. They've worked in this institution. Whatever sector it is, DOI has a footprint in it. When you come to the area that I am so passionate about, which is education, DOI at the tip of their hats know how many children are in school and how many children are not in school. They know how many educational institutions are there. They know that the problem we have with education is accessibility, affordability, and quality.
Yeah.
You know? So these are all these things. When you have identified all these gaps, as soon as you come in, what do? You put in the short-term goal to meet these aims of this gap. Whilst you look at the long-term vision, you're scanning the population. In 20, 50 years' time, how many more children will we have and how will we prepare for them? Lila Nyowa, but when you want to talk in these sort of areas, you need somebody with knowledge. You need somebody with experience. You need someone that knows the issue. You need someone that knows how to budget. You need someone that knows that if I do this and this and this, it's going to lead to the bigger vision. What is the bigger vision for Gambia? What is it? And what are the strategies that we have to put in place to meet the short term, the mid term, and the long term goal? We don't have that. Amunko, right now, the biggest problem for access gap in education is early childhood education and tertiary education. Those are the biggest area, Bohane, children having problems to have access into it. In the whole of Banjul, there is not one single government-run nursery school. Amut.
Wow.
Not a single. Everything is either by the churches or private institution. There is no government-run nursery early childhood education. It means our children are missing out. 0 to 5 years old is the time that a child gathers everything that they would manifest when they are older. That is the time that they need to learn that basic foundation. We are missing it. Miss Nenko. You go to all the other areas. As soon as you finish grade 12, what happens? School Inela, bye-bye. We don't want to see you again. We do not have career advice in any of our schools. There's no career advice. Man bente suma university fee. Then they call, they must say, oh, are you still in a job? Is there anything we can help you with a skill or something? Bente, they check on me. But as soon as you finish grade 12, you push you out of the door. Bye-bye. Nothing. You're not advised. You don't know where to head to. No government institution for tertiary education. Nothing. You're left with your parents. If your parents have no money, you're doomed for life. That's your life ended. Finished, gone.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita. That's wonderful. Musa, before you were about to flip onto the diaspora, but before that, Papa has raised two issues, two questions. Basically, Tata, despite the fact you are banned, your right to freedom of expression would be respected here. So your views will be read out. It's a marketplace of ideas. I believe you will get a fitting response from Musa. So Tata is saying, we have had charges of Sakumalo, money politics, identity politics, to be the reason PDOIS electoral performance. When did this identity politics start? How are Gambians able to identify with Jawara, Serif Diba, Usenu more than Sidia in 3 election cycles? That is the first one. You want me to read out the second one? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. The second one, if Musa feels and believes this highly of the PDOIS and its leadership, why does he stay an independent admirer instead of joining the party? Is that not the same as people saying, PDOIS speak the truth, they have all the ingredients, but I am not joining them because they cannot win?
Okay. Let's go back to the first question.
Yes, he's asking evidence about identity politics. Yeah.
And I've seen him make this argument before. But there is not a single honest pundit or observer of Gambian politics for anyone to say that identity politics, really, I mean, the statistics are there to back it. I mean, it's like, again.
Uncle Musa, can I step in just for a second? Aji Yamsteka, I think, helped us understand it better when she told them that Ali, what was it? Manika Fasa, or something like that. So that in itself speaks. So sorry to cut chip in. It just came to my mind when you were talking.
No, well, the issue is we don't want to draw Musa into the party. Okay, go ahead, Musa.
Hamga, voting patterns. It's a very complex thing, and human beings are complex. I am not saying that people are strictly just going to vote based on identity politics. It's a combination of things. And what I said was identity politics, patronage, and the power of incumbency. Isn't that what I said?
Yes, several factors. Yeah.
There are several factors that get into the mix. Now, I am not, and I guess what Pata is basically saying is, if Jawara is Mandinka and Serif Diba is Mandinka, and Sidia Jata is Mandinka, and Sidia Jata was getting 3%, Jawara was getting 50-something%, and then maybe Serif Diba get 30-something%. But if you look at it, if you look into it very closely, I am not saying that, because there are a lot of Mandinkas, they won't even get 1%. So it's not like just being a Mandinka alone would get you votes. Understand what I mean? There was how many Mandinkas do we have? This PDP, Mr. Bojang, Dr. Bojang. Being a Mandinka alone is not going to take you there. I am not saying that. I'm not that stupid. And I'm not saying, but all I'm trying to say, all I'm going to say as an analyst is, look, these have been the voting patterns of Gambians since independence. And that is true. I mean, but I can go all over the place. And now the question about why I am not joining PDOIS. See, this is not a question of joining a party or not joining a party. Man, I am of a belief, I strictly believe that unless and until at this critical juncture we put aside partisan politics, that doesn't mean that we're not going to join different parties. But if that becomes you join a party, you put everything in it, and that's the only thing that matters. But I don't believe that it helps our democracy. 2016, this transitional government was supposed to be an opportunity. We can still belong to parties. Why not politics be? I mean, the civility and the way we do politics, so that at the end of the day, we will be in a position to build a greater and a better Gambia. We have not done that. We have failed miserably. like he's saying, it is very easy for me to join a party. I mean, I can join DOI, but there is also what we call an independent. In other words, you have them here in the US. They crisscross all over the place. Hey, they will vote for this person. Tomorrow they will support this person. I mean, it happens. Man, I do believe under my skin that I'm much more comfortable. There are things that I like about DOI, very fundamental. Government intervention, I have said that. But if I want to go back to what I think Elizabeth said, to me, it's not about the superiority of a particular system. I mean, look at China, for instance, a centralized economy. They were able to pull 1 billion people out of poverty. You go to China today, you will think, oh my goodness, you see the pictures, you see them. What they have done with a centralized economy. It's not capitalism driven. It's worsened. So my thing is not a question of which system is superior, whether it's Cuba. You talk about Cuba. I mean, you look at Cuba too. They have some serious problems.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people want to go to Cuba. They have serious problems. So in other words, privatization, capitalist-led economies, they have functioned, and we have seen it. They're able to uplift the living standard of people. Socialist systems, they have done the two. What is important and what we are lacking in the Gambia, more leadership that have character, honesty, integrity, consistency, and vision. Right. If we do not have that, I don't care what system we have, we are going to fail woefully. Because we're going to, that is the honest to God truth. Now, again, Pata PJ, I am not saying that you have to be, I can go to Kaur today and run under the banner name and Domi Olafla. Even if I don't say it, you think the politicians are going out there and vote for me, oh, because I'm Mandinka? Or you think Sirif Diba was going to Badibu and saying, oh, vote for me because I'm Mandinka? He wasn't doing that. But people ain't dumb. People are not stupid. You know? And we know dog whistle politics when we see one. We understand that because politicians understand that identity politics happens. But the PJ Munuma Wane, Ahmad Ba came out of nowhere and he got 8% of the vote. And you go back and look at every constituency that that person won. Each and every one of them, they're predominantly Fula.
Well, Ahmad used to say,
he was playing it to the hilt.
Yeah.
In code words. And you telling me he wasn't playing that? He was. You tell me, wow.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. It is there.
GDC, go and look at where Kande was pulling out his votes. And I'm not saying, you see, I'm not saying that these people are tribalist or they're, I'm not saying that. But they understand and they will exploit that vein. Boy, in the contrary, they refuse to exploit it. Look at Sako Malo during this COVID-19. Political party, they are running all over the place. Everybody is giving Sako Malo. Because they believe it helps them. There's nothing wrong with that. You are helping people. But if you think that's the only thing driving them, you must be smoking something. People are naive. Why is Doi not doing that? Don't they know that it can help them electorally? Don't they understand that? You think they don't? You think they're stupid? They do. But it goes against their grain. That doesn't mean they're superior. That doesn't mean, I'm not saying that. But they have invested in something that they believe in. And Pata PJ, I mean, and that's the honest to God truth. But again, coming back to your answer, I am not saying that it's only identity politics. It's a combination of things that are in the soup, that if you want to win Gambian election, if you ignore those things, I'm telling you, you're not going to do very well. Now, come 2021, this is a new dynamics. We've never been here. Everybody and their father believes that they're going to get a voter's card. I believe that. We have a youthful voters under 30. I could even say, I'm not too sure of the statistics, 40 or 50% of the voters are going to be young people. If they vote, the question then becomes, are they going to vote like their fathers or are they going to vote differently? Because a good chunk of them live in the greater Banjul area, in the urban areas. Are they going to become prisoner of the way their fathers were, or are they going to think differently? Now, that doesn't mean DOI also has a challenge in their hands. Because if you want to win elections and you know that these are the political realities, how do you still be able to guard your principles and your belief and still be able to get to the voters and become an alternative that people can look at it and say, you know what, I think DOI has a chance of winning. Unless and until they can do that the average Gambian, you know what, I like Khalifa, I like Sidia, I think they have integrity and honesty, and I also believe maybe they do have a chance this time around. If they get there, they will do well. If they do not get there, they are not going to do very well. That's the honest to God truth. That's what I believe, man, personally.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. DOI has found itself in a situation of trying to rely on an evolutionary process, and the people are not quickly raising their standards to that level. That is the honest truth. But yeah, Elizabeth, do you have a quick intervention?
Yeah.
Musa can have a
I do.
Then we can get into it.
Yeah, I want to agree with Musa that Cuba is not all gold. That Cuba has its issues as well. But when we look at the socialist model of Cuba, it has worked for them well. When we look at the socialist system in the Scandinavian countries, it has worked well for them. So besides the authoritarian nature of Cuba, besides the other aspects of Cuba that we do not desire, there is something that we can learn from them, which is that they are a socialist country, and with their socialism, they have been able to alleviate their people to a certain level of progress that certain capitalist countries have not been able to do. Now, the United States, with all its name, when it comes to the issues of, capitalism, is not something that has brought United States, given the United States the stature that it has. Because if you look at, I go back to the healthcare system because that is where I work in. You see people who are just a step away from bankruptcy. Why? Because of a capitalist system that's hanging around their necks. People who are today do not have health insurance because of what? Capitalism. Where in these socialist democratic countries, healthcare is affordable, it is free for all. Here, if you are sick, if you get certain chronic conditions, it is either you are not treated or you are treated and you get bills to pay where you can be bankrupt. I can tell you of personal instances of people who are right now in positions and places you have me because of their health conditions. If it were not a capitalist system that we have in the United States now, they would have been more productive, in society. Because of what? Capitalism, it's all about the profits. People have to choose between paying for a meal and buying insulin. That doesn't work. The capitalist system doesn't work. In as much as I agree that the leadership, our leaders need to be looked into. Yes, if we have good leaders who uphold certain principles, maybe even with the capital, we would be better off maybe a little bit because at least we have thinking leaders. But we have to have a system that works. We have to be able to look around the world. Like my sister was saying, it's not just about anything but. We want the holistic package. We want leaders who are thinking. We want leaders who have what it takes to rule, to take that country. We want leaders who have policies that we know have worked in other countries, in other places. That is why I ask Gambians to go look, check what political system is working and why is it working? How can we make it work in our context? We are already a socialist people, if you ask me, because we share everything. I know you have brothers, sisters, cousins that depend on you. You are invested upon to go to school, to do what? To be able to give back. Everybody puts their butut together and gives to a family member to be able to make it so that they come back and give to society. So by nature, we have those things. Our women and their Osusu groups. when it comes to, I mean, Doi talking about, I mean, cooperatives. It's just the same thing. It's just that it's going to be amplified where government is intervening with its power, with its influence to give these people the start of their need. Now, Moro farms, I heard about Moro farms and the exploit they are doing. If I were in Gambia, that's the only rice I would eat, by the way. They're doing a great job. And I had brother Suleiman talk on his platform how the government has subsidized them or given them a loan, helped them to really be productive. I am happy for them. I want to see that. But the gender activist in me was like, how about if they're giving 50% of that to the women as well? The women have been here before Moro farms. How much are they getting from the government as far as subsidies? How much support are they getting to alleviate them from the kind of agriculture that they are? Everything is manual. Give them farming tools. Organize them. That is what DOI is offering. And that is why what is happening in Gunjur today would not have been there if DOI were in power. Mr. Gomez was talking about when they came in, the government had already approved of 12 and they only went with 5. Dear Mr. Gomez, we brought you in for a change to revamp the whole system. Give us a system that works. It's not enough to say, oh, Jame did 10, now we did 5, so we are better off. No, we want the best that you can give us. And what you have to offer is not what we have voted you for. The fish meal factories are killing us. How can you imagine a factory? Forget about the exploitations and the economic exploitation when it comes to, you know, what they are taking away and how much little they are giving back to the society. Forget about that. How about our environment that they are polluting? What kind of government, responsible government, allows a foreign-based company to come to your country and put waste pipe into your sea? That is the height of irresponsibility. That is negligence to the core. This is what we are talking about, and it's a matter of life and death. Because our women are not able to get the fish that they need to sell and send their children to school. We are talking about a knowledge-based economy. My sister echoed that. Yes, that is what we want. What does DOI have to offer when it comes to a knowledge-based economy? DOI is telling us that when they come to power, education is going to be free. And it's just not just talk. Like my sister was saying, they already have a roadmap. They already have the statistics in place. They know what is missing. They know where we are needing intervention. They've done their homework. How many of these parties have already done that? They don't even know what my sister was highlighting here. But DOI has it already in place and in paper to prove to us. So when they come in, they are not scrambling, lambadach. No. They already know what way to attack.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. I know. Just to kind of add a bit more onto that before they run with it. Education will be free, meaning basic education, not including university and stuff like that. I just wanted to draw out.
My bad.
Just before Kinyosa, man, I mean, look, the point that I'm trying to make, to me, it's not a question of which system works better, whether the capitalist system works or not. I mean, America is a country of 300 million people or more. I mean, and nobody is really going to sit here and they haven't done a great thing. There's a reason why they attract millions of people flooding into this country. So to me, and America purely, it's not a purely capitalist system. It has its socialist appendages all over the place. So the bottom line is, especially as a country, Gambia, whether it's system A or system B, I'm not benen bugena fundamental, and that is electing the right people, which is the person with the right character, the person with the right knowledge, the person with the right capacity, the party with the right consistency. If you see that in NPP, vote for them. If you see it in UDP, vote for them. If you see it in DOI, vote for them. If you're making decisions based on that, I believe then we have a chance to create a better Gambia. Now, but if we resort back to what we've been doing, and we all know what it is, then we are going to fail. In Gambia, will never change. We are just going to be another third world country, a country of 2 million. We cannot feed ourselves. We can't even bring access to clean drinking water. So to me, the system's argument, and I like her point, the points that she's raising. I like some of it, but I do believe government intervention is needed. But I believe I belong to that school of thought. I do not think just leave it in the hands of the private sector that they will come and rescue us. They haven't done it. Right. So why would you sit here and say, well, let's create an enabling environment so that the private sector can do it? They have not done that. What are we going to do? Like John Maynard Keynes said, by the time they get there, we are all dead. So government intervention, I think, is required. But then I am not going to go to a point of saying that, a capitalist model doesn't work, because it has worked. Anita.
Well, I think that is why DOI carefully coined in the cooperative model, because in a sense, DOI is not coming and say and kill private businesses. They are not ready to do that.
No, I don't think so either.
But this is going to quickly lead us to the next issue, and we have spent almost an hour, 30 minutes, and we just have to touch on this briefly. Then maybe we can come back again.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think.
But I want to touch a little bit about the diaspora too, because okay. I think let me let Anita go then first. Though.
Yeah.
Sulaiman, thank you so much. Man li ma bëgg a wax mooy everything we need or everything that we have to develop Gambia is in Gambia, is within Gambia, is in us, we Gambians. Kenn du génn si biti ñëw ne ñoom ñoo developal Gambia. Mboolem ku jógee si biti ñëw dafa ñëw pour jël yóbbu. Te bul dégga benn pati ne la ñun ñoo fee def lu fi kenn defut amut. Mboolem luñ war a develop Gambia mu ngi foofu ba pare pati yi wax nañ ko ñëpp wax nañ ko ba pare mu ngi fa. So there is nobody that is coming to reinvent the wheel. Amut. Bu leen kenn na. Why? Everything you pati yëpp teg nit ñi dañu war a seega xoolaat ban moo nekk boo xam ne moo fit within the Gambian context and is dealing with the Gambian reality. Dinaa demaat ma wax, I am a pragmatist. I like to see tangible results. How do you go about showing tangible results? How do you see? For a start in Gambia, we have no government key performance indicator. There is nothing that says this is what we are going to be measuring our performance by. Amut. So there is nothing to hold anybody accountable for. Dañoo nekk di laal fii. There is nothing strategic. There's nothing that is following a plan. That even when a government leaves, another government comes in, there is succession. Amut. Mota, we are always starting back to basic. Nyata yon len raax Taliban juli. How many governments mo def lolu?
Several of them.
Exactly. Spending. Up to now, we have not moved from moving to the tarring the road. Nyung si tar road bentay. We haven't even put a building on top of those tar roads. Bentay. What does that say? Loolu lum wax lum miin dafa miin ne ñun demuñ fenn. Gis naa ne nit ñaa ngi kontaan ci tali yuñ defin rafet na moom man tam gis naa ko. Waa Banjul la rafet na. Waaye war nañoo passé foofu. War nañoo passé foofu. Maa nga ba pare ñu ngi wax between socialism and capitalism. The thing is, you can borrow from both.
Correct.
And make it fit within the Gambian reality.
Context. True.
You know, within the Gambian context, mun nañ ko borrow. But everything has its plus and its minuses. I went to, the first time I ever went to a Scandinavian country was last year in Sweden. And these people, they have a benchmark. Bohamne, there is a certain standard of living. Bohamne, Ken won ko romba. They've set it, a benchmark. Why can't we borrow from that? They set a benchmark that every Gambian, whatever it is your situation, you'll have water, you have light, you have a suitable living condition, you have access to health care, you have access to education. We set that as the benchmark. Everybody else is now free to move up to whatever level you want to move on based on the opportunities that are out there. Te lolu doy mu ngi si sen manifesto yi mu ngi si sen everything luñ musa def in Gambia is embedded in that, having a citizen bo xamne they are living according to a certain standard te duñ romba certain standard bobu. Lolu lañ buga. That is what we want. That is what we want in Gambia. Why you hear them suñu ki can you imagine? We are even caring for leaders that are digging a borehole for us. Borehole, we are cheering them. ñu leen di kontaan ne leen thank you very much yaa fi def lu fi kenn defut. ñu am a politician you holding a shovel, a pail, the dig. Boy, yaa fi def lu fi kenn defut. That is our measurement of our leaders working for us. War nañoo passé foofu. And when you're speaking like this, we all know the realities. Ñun ñëpp Banjul lañ jógee, whoever is in the UK, in the US, in Scandinavia, we see what it is. And this is the same thing we want for our people. And it is achievable. With all the resources we have, we can do it. But we can only do it when we have leaders that are selfless, leaders that are visionary. Ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi xool, when they see, they already have that vision of where the Gambia should be. We have leaders, ñi nga xam ne, the Gambian interest supersedes all interests. Why nga xam ko xam ne, you know, the first thing you're there is you're thinking about, okay, let me bring some of my attack dog and some people I can just throw a bit of crumbs to. Nga xam ne dinañ kontaan and stuff like that, you know. No la ñu live and then everybody else is happy. The other day, dama seetaan benn a movie about Winston Churchill. With all the criticism about Winston Churchill, dama seetaan movie bi. When it was the time to make the decision to go to war with Germany or to surrender, xam nga lum def dafa bàyyi Westminster office am bi duga si biir train bi in London. Wax and daf doon wax the average Joe mu toog si train bi mu laaj ko mu ne if it was you what would you do? If it was you what would you do? Dafa bàyyi officials am yëpp advice am yëpp mu dem into the people. Gis nga bu mu jógee on that train journey ba mu digga bi in Westminster dafa summon everybody. Mu ne I have spoken to John. John said this is what we are going to do. I've spoken to Mary on the train. Mary said this is what we are going to do. We don't say that a leader should make a decision just based on public opinions. No. But you have diverse knowledge base. Public opinion is one. Statistics and data is another one. The trend of what's happening in the market is another one. You know, the knowledge and expertise from researchers and ever is another one. You combine all that together, and then you have the way to make an informed decision that is relevant to the people. Why ñun am lolu kuñ sànni rek nga toog sa air conditioner bi te ñii ñun bala ñu leen doon sànni dañ doon waaxu comme ñun dañ doon bay waaxu comme ñun.
It's true.
They nga sànni rek doo leen gisati doo leen déggati doo leen gisa doo leen déggati duñ dugga si biir nit ñi. How do you want to make a decision when you're so detached from the people? You don't know the realities on the ground. Man façon boobu laa bëgga leadership that is connected with the people. Loolu gis nga moo ko seetaanee the Winston Churchill movie. Ma ne wow, there's a lot people can learn from here. So that is what we want. Leadership that is in touch with the people.
Thank you, Anita.
And you have a diverse knowledge base to make a decision, and that is how we can get there. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. But Musa, she gave a very bad example, and that is Winston Churchill's.
I know, that's why I said with all the criticism.
He created genocide against the black Nubians in Africa.
Why? Definitely, everything that she said, very impressive. So, Lieutenant Zidane, Elizabeth, they really, I mean, very impressive. Right, Suleiman, I'm not. Let me just talk about this diaspora thing. I think, and then I have to go.
I think what we'll probably do is we will come back and treat this topic sometime again. That is women representation, because Marisok's appearance on the political scene is quite interesting. It kind of generated different debates about it.
Definitely.
But I think it's getting late now, and we spend a lot of time on this, so you can flip onto the diaspora. So yeah.
Right, because I think it's equally important, especially for 2021. The role of the diaspora in this whole process. Kendrero Unbirne, diaspora, they play a huge role in bringing about the change that we're all seeing today. But we also have to go back. There was a reason why it took us 15, 20 years. Because I would even say 80% of the diaspora, they totally disengage. Some thought it was a waste of time. Some thought it's a little bit of inconvenience. I'm not going to join this struggle because I know Jammeh is not going to be removed. And every summer or every semester, I want to go to Gambia. In Gambia, of course, it's a police state. Can you mean Jammeh? And that's how we went on. And that is why it took this long. Now, there is a new reality. We're talking about enfranchise the Gambian people, the diaspora. Karamba Toure once said something. Diaspora. Even if we were enfranchised tomorrow and give us the voting rights, most likely 50 or 60% of us will not even participate. They'll think, oh, this is a waste of my time. Or two jobs. Or I have to pay my mortgage. Oh, Gambian politics being in man, I'm just dealing with my realities. And these are the same people that will want to turn around and talk about the Africa that changes. Things haven't changed. You're not even willing to participate and make a difference. If we are able to get an enfranchise as a voter, I am hoping that all of us, whether you live in Italy, whether you live in Scandinavia, whether you live in England, whether you live in the US, Minnesota, Atlanta, Georgia, Washington, D.C., can you imagine if every diasporan, Manfima Dekani alone, I have a wife and I have kids. If I register and I make sure each and every one of them register, you're looking at 10 votes from my household. Kenen nonu. Do you know how many voters out there? There's going to be a by-election in Nyamina West, I think. Is it Nyamina East or Nyamina West?
West, yeah.
That constituency alone may be 4,000 or 5,000 voters. Can you imagine the total number of voters? Yineka Italy, Yineka Spain, Yineka Norway, sa Domi, sa Jabari, sa Jarbati. You don't know Norway, but they are Gambians by descent. You make sure that they all register and they have a voter's card. And come this presidential election, we take the next level and make sure that we vote. My friend, that is going to change the dynamics as well. But the diaspora that I know, that they are so selfish, they're all into, during the time of Jammeh, everybody is like, Karamba will say, weleleli alabiyep, uneka ngedefal video. For 20 freaking years, they don't want to deal with the inconvenience. They will tell you, people like Nyom Pasamba, or Nyom Bankamane, or Nyom Karambature, or Nyom Yudin Dara. And you think you're smart? And all these other people do need dara? No, they have core. They have something that they believe in. But it doesn't mean that they have a monopoly on anything. But now there is a new reality. Are we all ready to do what it takes? We are going to vote. Make sure as a family be vote. You get them a voter's card. Just on the media. My wife, my kids, my in-laws, everybody. If we do that, Obama was able to win the presidency because they had lieutenants all over the freaking place. Make sure every black person was registered in every barber shop, in every corner. You think they carried Pennsylvania just because of like that? You think they carried Florida or Ohio? They had to bring in new voters. In the diaspora, 2021, we have a choice. And then parties like DOI. Now I'm going to help you here. There are a lot of voters out there in the diaspora. They are low-hanging fruit. I am telling you, low-hanging fruit. That maybe your message will resonate. Maybe they won't fall into the politics of patronage. Maybe they will not fall into the politics of identity politics. You're thinking that there is exposure, sophistication. At least they understand the global world that we live in now. Low-hanging fruit.
Or even populism is another
populism
thing.
For that matter. If there is any party out there that understands that, and I'm going to be real, it's the United Democratic Party. Fully they understand that. They have chapters all over. They know what they are doing. And if they win in 2021, I can assure you, it has a lot to do with the way they process and the way they do things enthusiastically with their surrogates. They don't take anything for granted. And that, my friend, is the truth. That's how you win elections. The diaspora, all of us. If not, if we elect the same old, bulen fi dem semester fi di complain, ken du len deglu. You want to change? You want change? You look yourself in the mirror and you be the change. Don't outsource it. Don't make it someone else's problem. Who's going to listen to you? Game over. You elect mediocrity. Mediocrity is going. That's what you're going to get. Criticize by elect, but that's not going to mean a darn thing. But again, my good friend, it was a good one. We'll do it again. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Musa, we'll all wrap up at the same time. Elizabeth, final comments, and then Anita.
Okay.
We're all going to go at the same time now. Go ahead.
Musa, just to say from what you have just said, the silent majority, the closet DOIS, ñi nga xamne ñoo bari in the diaspora ak everyone ñi nga xamne ñu sé be closet bi way so fa sété doya fa nekk nañ génna you know we have them a lot
Yeah.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth, final words in relation to what Musa said.
Musa, I think Patas are right. You need to come on board. This is not the time to sit on the fence there. You need to come, join the bandwagon. We have a job to do. We need to get everybody on board. And it's not about DOI. Like I only joined DOI like not very long ago. I was also in that same place of, I'm independent, I'm in it. But I'm like, you know what? It's time to take sides to make things happen, you know? You need to jump in there and do the work because no one else is going to do it for us.
I know maybe I'm launching my own candidacy because I want to take them too.
All right, that's it. That's it. But I mean, it's very important that we come back to the women, Mr. Suleiman.
Yes, we can do that next week, Saturday.
Okay, I want everybody to go home, especially if you're a woman, and look at the final draft constitution, chapter 68. Read it and see what you understand from it and how you are empowered or not. I don't think women are empowered in this final draft constitution. Go home and look at it, and we'll talk about it next week.
All right.
Well, if you're out there and you are a DOIS supporter, wherever you are, any part of the world, it's your responsibility to create the support base for the party. Like Musa said, no chance to voter apathy, no chance to laziness towards democracy. We all have to be active participants if we want to change the political process and transform our country for better. Until we come out your way again next week, thank you very much, viewers, and a special appreciation to our special guest, Alhaji Musa Jeng. Thank you
very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jeng.
Thank you so much.
It was impressive. I always follow you on Facebook.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth and Anita.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.